To this now, Joburg Mayor Dada Morero says there are plans to find a permanent solution to water problems. It comes as the municipality says it has restored water in areas recently been affected by water outages. However, residents in areas like Midrand are still battling dry taps, with small businesses and schools also affected. The mayor joins us now for more on this particular issue. Thank you very much for your time, Mayor. I wonder when you got to learn as the municipality of the issues that were being faced by Rand Water, because in your briefing you say these problems started on the 26th of January.
Thank you very much, and good evening to you. Certainly there's been programs in December which were maintenance related. With the current program, I think there were challenges on the 26th, and there was work that there was also challenges on the 31st, which in fact related to the leak in the reservoir, which Rand Water started working on, which meant you have to isolate and have to turn off the water so that it can be fixed. So Rand Water has therefore undertaken that work, and by Monday evening, the leak had been sorted out, which means now they've been pumping water into the Fontaine Reservoir, and also pumping water now into the Joburg water infrastructure, our own reservoirs in the area. So we have been aware, we've been working with the Rand Water. Our teams have been working since the problem had emerged, but at the same time, we're beginning to see some improvement in terms of water supply in the area.
You've made arrangements to give those affected communities, particularly in areas like Midrand, water tankers. And many say it's coming at a time when they're already frustrated and they shouldn't even have to be protesting for water, because water, again, is a basic human right.
Well, yes, we all agree that water is not like electricity that we can manage for days without it. In this case, it's in relation to water, and water is an important resource. So what we have done, and based on the report I received this morning, Joburg Water, since the challenge has started in Midrand, they had allocated 3 water trucks or tankers in the 11 wards in and around the area which are supplied by the 5 reservoirs, to ensure that it at least reduces the impact on the residents. So that has been happening. We then agreed this morning that they will increase the capacity of the water tankers. The challenge in real terms was the reservoir where they had to source the water. They were only sourcing in 1 reservoir, as all other reservoirs were empty, which created a bit of a challenge. But with the reservoirs now recovering, it becomes at least better for them to source from other reservoirs within the area. So where we are now is that we have most of the reservoirs has recovered. By yesterday, for example, the President Park had recovered to about 50%. It has went down now as at 6 this evening. And I suspect it's as a result of people coming back from work and now harvesting water, and it has pushed it below the 30% mark, which is what we don't really want at this stage. We want the reservoir to be above 40% to 50%. Other reservoirs are beginning to recover. The only reservoir that is not showing good signs of recovery is the Grand Central, which is supporting areas like Glen Hostin. So we are working on that reservoir also to get it to work. So as we push the pumping from Rand Water, we will be able to get all reservoirs to be full so that we can distribute the water in all the areas that are affected.
So how soon can residents expect to have water in their taps?
Well, today I think residents in Ward 110, Ward 112, and 132 have been getting water. which would also include residents around Ward 80 who are supplied through the Ridge the pumping station, which is sitting at which is the only one that is really, really healthy, sitting above 70%, which is good in terms of distribution of water. So some have already received, and we are pushing to ensure that all other residents are getting their water.
Yeah. Joburg has been periodically facing water issues, and this makes one wonder about the state of the water infrastructure that we have, particularly because Joburg is considered an economic hub and affects a lot of business, particularly in an economic climate like we have right now.
Well, you'd know that in December it was mainly as a result of the maintenance. But you do have instances and areas where the infrastructure has bigger challenges. It can cope and it collapses, and as a result of that, we get affected and the residents get affected. But where we are now, there's investments that we are doing to refurbish the entire infrastructure, the entire water infrastructure. We are undergoing a process with National Treasury on service entities reforms, with an intention to ensure that the infrastructure around water receive enough investment so that we can refurbish that infrastructure. And over and above, we're also bringing new infrastructure. As part of dealing with the old, we're also bringing new infrastructure. In the area concerned of Midrand itself, we're bringing more, about 4 reservoirs and about 3 towers, with 1 tower almost complete and would be ready to be commissioned quite soon, which is an indication that we are alive to the fact that there's been developments in the area, whether residential, business, etc., and we are intervening because the population also has increased around that area, which means we must also try and keep up with the developments that are happening in and around Midrand, and that is why we're bringing the 4 new reservoirs and the 3 towers, which will go a long way in addressing the water storage and water supply. And these 4 reservoirs and 3 towers will bring an additional 75 million liters, which is an indication that we are doing something to keep up with the developments that are happening in Joburg.
I want us to shift gears now, Mayor, and talk about the Rea Vaya bus service, because the MMC for Transport, who is the PA's Kenny Gunene, has called for your resignation, saying that Joburg is spending about 9.2 million rands monthly on suspended Rea Vaya buses. Let's start with that figure. Is it accurate?
Well, it's not accurate. We'll give the figures once there's been consolidation of the figures. However, it's a discussion that I think as of now, we should not enter, as we have written a letter to the MMC to come and explain, because he made these allegations a week ago. He hasn't yet just come to the executive mayor to explain the allegations and the documents that he has claimed that he has in his possession. However, the behavior of the MMC is unacceptable. It's an indication of undermining and disrespecting the office of the executive mayor. And that matter also requires to be addressed and be given attention. You do not go and address the mayor in this manner when the executive mayor has given you a letter asking you to come forward and explain the issues that you have uttered out there publicly. So it's a matter that I would suggest that we leave it for now, would address it internally. He still has to come and explain himself and account on his conduct and give us information that he has claimed that it is at his disposal, and the mayor has acted unilaterally in the matter that refers to the feeder buses in Soweto. Then we will give a better account to the media, the public, and the residents of Johannesburg as to what is the truth around this matter. But however, his behavior, I must say, is unacceptable and it needs to be attended to.
Yeah, but Mayor, residents are affected by this suspension of the Rea Vaya bus. What can you, from your own, information that you have at this point, tell them about what is happening with the Rea Vaya situation?
We will give a proper report. We will consolidate our report, the discussions that had taken place with associations, especially those associations in Soweto, discussions that would have with the business rescue, and of course with Trans, so that we give a better reflection of what has transpired and we give a solid, comprehensive report to the residents of Johannesburg. Unlike just speculating, making noise, and making allegations and claims that are not going to help the city of Johannesburg. So I would not want to walk that road with the MMC. It can continue to make noise. We'll then address this thing officially within the structures of the funds. It's just regrettable that it continues with this type of behavior, which is not the first time, in fact. And it was proven even in the last claims that he made a year ago or 2 years ago, that in fact there was quite false information that the MMC was peddling. But we'll have to address it and address it officially without any form of emotions.
Yeah, but how much of a priority is the issue of the Rea Vaya bus taxis for you, Mr. Mayor? Residents who are wondering...
Well, remember that the BRT is an important a project and a flagship program that we had implemented in Johannesburg. We were the first, and followed, of course, by other metros. And the intention was to empower taxi operators. And we're not going to lose focus on ensuring that the BRT succeeds. Yes, Trans had challenges, which were financial challenges as a result of mismanagement from management that was at Trans. So we need to give support and continue to support taxi operators. This is an important legacy that the democratic government saw it fit to ensure that it supports taxi operators and ensure that it gives them value in the transport industry. So we are not going to be diverted from the problem. And we are going to be focused. We are going to deal with the matter of feeder buses. We are going to deal with the matter of Trans as soberly as possible to ensure the success. And that is why the engagement with other bus operators of BRT, like we're engaging with Zamaiso, we're engaging with others to ensure that the BRT phase 1 has to succeed, because now it's faced with serious challenges. And if we'd address it differently, there would not have been need to deal with the issue of feeder buses. And unfortunately, the MMC would have acted in the manner that was unilateral and did not consult the mayoral committee when he brought about buses to come in Johannesburg, which we never understood how they came about. And that's what the taxi associations are raising, that we do not engage with us. It's in our roots, but the city or the government never took it upon them to hear what are their views and opinions. So it's an important part that we handle this matter with the sensitivity it deserves and not go around and making claims, accusations, and noise.
Yeah, we've spoken about the water situation as well as the Rea Vaya bus services. All of this happens, and residents in Johannesburg are now informed there is a new deputy mayor that will be coming. And I know this is a proposal that dates back to 2023, but part of the reasons that are being given are that the executive mayor's workload has grown. How do you explain all of this?
Well, the deputy mayor position, it's a position of an MMC responsible for a particular department. As and when the mayor is engaged in other things and not available, the deputy mayor will then take responsibilities to act as the mayor. And in that way, you're just managing how you are running government and how you are running the mayoral committee. A decision has been resolved by council, and council voted in favor of a deputy mayor. The leadership of the ANC and the coalition partners moving forward will then guide as to what do we do in terms of appointing now that the resolution has been passed in council. Basically, that's what it means.
You say it will be an MMC position. Talk to us about what day-to-day roles will that MMC be attending to?
The MMC will be responsible for whatever portfolio they have been given. Say, for example, the parties agree on a particular MMC, and let's say that MMC is responsible for infrastructure as an example. It would therefore mean that that deputy mayor will be responsible for infrastructure. However, in instances where the mayor is not available, the mayor will then delegate those responsibilities to the deputy mayor.
At this particular point, it sounds as though that MMC does not have a clear guideline in terms of what it is exactly that they're going to be doing. If they were to take office tomorrow, what exactly would they be doing?
Not already in office, then an MMC responsible for portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So why is there a need for an extra 1.2 million rand if they're already in office?
I heard that there's an extra 1.2 million. The structure does not change. The MMC remains an MMC with the office and with the personnel that is already structured within that office. And it's just an extra responsibility as and when the mayor is not available. There's no real financial implications.
Has there been a discussion about where this, in fact, let me leave it at that. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time. That's the mayor of the city of Johannesburg, Dada Morero, talking to us about a range of issues from the water crisis in the city of Johannesburg to Rea Vaya buses, as well as the position of an incoming deputy mayor, saying that there is no extra money that will be spent on that position. It is already an MMC that is already in office. So, the issue around the extra funds are things that, would not be coming from them. So